Scheduled to go live now. Actually, I am technically, just making sure it works. Oh look, I can see myself, that's cool. So it does work. I better turn the sound off. Twitter as well, it's supposed to be on Twitter as well. Let's have a look. Twitter. Yes. Cool, I went live for 1 second by accident because I went on vertical, but that's cool. Okay, now I'm just waiting for my guest, who, I wonder if I can stick some graphics up. And a quick promo graphic that I need to post. Oh no, I can't, I'm going to have to show you on the screen. So we've got Pirate Queen Endigo Kat, artist, Web3 maverick, I suppose. And I'm just waiting for them now, really. I'll message them. Let's click the link there. The join. Boring. Dead air. Okay, here we go. Link, studio, restream, copy, send. You've got their own Discord channel. We'll be with Reverend Valeria Watson, aka Pirate Queen Endigo Kat. Lifelong artist and now Web3 pioneer. Lifelong artist and Web3 pioneer. Sorry, double take. So what I'm going to do is I'm already streaming live now on. Lifelong artist and Web3 pioneer. Scheduled to go live now. Actually, I'm technically just making sure it works. We'll be with Reverend Valeria Watson, aka Pirate Queen. Lifelong artist and Web3 pioneer. Scheduled to go live now. Actually, I am technically, just make sure what. We'll be with Reverend Valeria Watson, aka Pirate Queen Endigo Kat, lifelong artist and Web3 pioneer. Scheduled to go live now. Actually, I am technically, just make sure what. We'll be with Reverend Valeria Watson, aka Pirate Queen Endigo Kat. Live. Chat. Ooh, interesting. Show this new screen. Oh, well, that's very cool. Check his comments. Hello.
Good morning. Are you going to call me?
Oh, okay. So what? Did you get the link from before? On I think I sent it on the TikTok chat. Is that right, or did I not? I think I did that.
Oh, I have to go back and look. I'm on Discord.
I can send you the link on Discord.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll just send
Thanks.
it on. I'll also send it in the. To get this screen away now.
Okay.
Cool.
Bye.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Bye.
as soon as I.
Let me turn on the
Dun,
light.
dun. Can you hear me? I have my speakers off. Can you hear me
There
now?
we go. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes,
We can hear each other.
we can hear. Step 1 complete.
Yeah. Well, it's good to establish these things, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah, theory, but practice is better.
So this is a morning show for you.
Okay. Why don't I have a wide screen?
Ooh, that's a good question. I wonder if I can do anything like that. Can I do anything like that?
Let's see. No.
I've filled up the screen now, so the way it's streaming.
Okay, that's better.
It's I changed the view. This is I haven't used this before, but I've heard. So it's it's currently streaming to YouTube and Twitter.
Oh wow!
And I'm about to go
from my bathroom.
And then
Okay.
It's the funkiest. I think it's the funkiest bathroom I've ever seen in someone's home. Yeah. My laptop sounds like it's about to take.
Everywhere.
My laptop sounds like it's about to take off. I don't know if you can hear that. If that's interrupting you at all.
I hear it.
Can you hear it?
I hear like a little sound.
Is it basically? I'm asking, is there a noise that's too loud?
That's okay,
Or is it okay
for me.
Okay, good. That's fine. Work out. I'm also going to go live on TikTok. Ooh. I made an image. I used some of your imagery.
Oh, cool! Thank you.
I'll post. I'll just like post about it.
It's cool. I guess.
Yeah, the internet. Yeah. Okay, I realised less than a week is not enough time to promote a live stream. But I don't think it matters.
Oh yeah, we just had to do it. I mean, just do it.
Just more about making it happen. Yeah.
Exactly.
Agreed. Yes. So, like, what are you up to right now? Basically, like, what are you doing? Because all your content, as far as I'm concerned, is quite cryptic. It's like it's like I guess I sort of like have to piece it together. Like, what's going on with this? Like, it's a.
I know.
Like I feel like TikTok channels like leaving breadcrumbs to what you're doing.
Basically,
I see snippets of like, artwork, but it's like
that's because that's kind of how my mind works. But I've been in a designer couture sewing costume for years, and I just really I can just do what I want to do. So I'm not renting a studio anyone. I'm working out of my home to turn it into the studio and basically commemorate myself. I mean, the freedom, we don't have to wait for someone else to, like I've been waiting a few years to discover for art and send it your way. And, I have good at politics because everything I do is either about issues, women's issues, social issues that make me not the favorite in my local town, favorite of the poor, but maybe not the favorite of the rich. But
okay.
So
is it quite yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, so it's like it seems like you work in the real world per se. And it's like, so is it like quite locally? Because you talk about being an Appalachian artist as well. So it's quite
right.
Is it about where you are somewhat as well?
It's about where I am and how I came here with ideas coming from the West Coast, coming from LA, and having gone to years ago in the in New York City. So I have all these big cities that I thought, aha, finally I'm at a place that I can, manifest them. And it's about my journey as a woman and a Black woman. The only story I figure I can tell is my story.
Yeah.
And
it does seem like a story.
At 74, and like, finally, no, I love French, and I'm just gonna aim on all this now as if I'm in the south of France. So that's my string through plays I've written. I believe that I'm doing the costumes, the lighting, the writing, and when I looked at it, and that I do. So basically, I'm just keeping time on social media to make my premiere. I don't know, premiere by and do an installation of all my art. Then I'll have more posts, but I just want to stay in the walked off Clubhouse. I got kicked off Meta, Facebook, and Instagram, and I'm not really sure why. They made up some kind, and they sent me, like, you have 30 days to respond, but then there was no basically bye bitch. Just shut the F up.
Yeah, it's so weird like that.
All my years that I did on, I had over 10,000 on Instagram. I'm like, oh, okay. You guys think you own my shit? You can just the wave. So, what it's made me is really focus more on my filmmaking of events and shows and things like that. So that's what I'm working on, and it's solitary. This organizing of the things that I do, shifting from being a person that runs a charity. I have a huge African Cultural Center, and I worked in Osogbo, Nigeria. I've worked in China. So now I'm like, to turn that lens back on myself is my test.
So have you been, is your work very outward in that way in the past? You talk about issues, women's issues, I'm sure, racial issues.
Religion, cultural, Osogbo, Nigeria. I'm a priestess of Oshun. I'm area for a while, and so I feel like, okay, this stuff now I'm at a whole new sector at the whole time when this went boom, and I'm like, yay, I lived long enough. I have my Social Security. I don't have to work really. Hey, I've been patient, like Gary Vee says, be patient, motherfucker.
You put in the reps. He talks a lot about putting in the reps.
Exactly.
I mean, that's what I think. Yeah, I get that vibe from the content as well. It's like you're just doing the reps, like you're just putting it in. So like when you have got something, when you've got this big announcement to make about, I'm sure you've got something you want to you're working towards with regard to all this stuff. And we haven't really talked about that because we haven't talked. But like, it'd be so. It's this, and I've got this sense from people who've lived, more of their life than I have, about wanting to sort of like artists who and writers as well, all kinds of artists who've lived long enough. We'll use your words. There's a sense that they do see this opportunity to sort of, because of what it is conceptually, if not, because we don't know if blockchains truly are forever, but like this attempt to like sort of write something down in, I call it digital stone, to sort of immortalize, and it's this very modern way of doing it. I think you recognize it, and I think art, and it's interesting to me that artists, creative people, are the people who are less there's plenty of creative people who are skeptical about it, but it's generally on like ethical terms because it's like, oh, it's it's just financialization of everything, or it's or there's some environmental concern. But people who learn about it without that sort of baggage, like myself, seemingly like yourself, seemingly the people who I've sort of, because what I tried to do was to sort of, and you mentioned Gary Vee, and like I sort of consider myself like a sort of torchbearer of that sort of way of, like content, like all over every random thing, but it's like it's not it's but it happens. But since I focus on Web3 by whilst I was learning about it, it seems to have attracted like-minded people in a way that so it's really interesting how that sort of happened by just like staying the course.
So
I posted for like quite a while before any sort of like, and you get a drip feed of growth if you post every day, but it was actually focusing on Web3 that got me more followers. But then it's like I didn't want to be just about that. I was just that's what I was talking about at the time, and just that's where some growth came from. Like I am, and I already talked about quite a few different things already, and that just added to it. So I was talking about product design, I was talking about marketing, I was talking about strategy, and then like just blockchain stuff gets added on top, and it's like but it is interesting how it does seem to have sort of, I don't know what the word is, but sort of magnetized the kind of people I would like to help, and are and seem to be like-minded by just sort of not overthinking the process.
Building it,
again,
making it.
And I was just wanting to, I guess I was just thinking about the parallel between that and the way that I was saying it seems to be you're approaching the TikTok. It's like just again doing the reps, pushing it out, keeping and keeping. I don't know how many 74-year-old content creators are, but they're not over-indexed. It's like it is a but that's what you get when you're an artist. It's like the artist is always on the edge.
And I've made friends
always
with
looking.
She and I have hooked up. She's really
little
an
bit of cut out there. Do you want to start the sentence again? It was a bit crackly.
Oh, you know what? I might need to move because yours was breaking up. I might have to leave the bathroom. Let's see where we'll go.
Is the router in the bathroom?
The tour of the chateau.
Yeah. Okay. Work in the bathroom.
You can hear me. You can hear me now, right?
Yeah. I did you before, but it was a bit spotty.
It was the whole point of that's different with me is that I'm also a spirit. I lived like a nun for probably like 20 esoteric group. And so the spiritual
is that the most recent
part
20
of my
years?
work. No, not the most recent 20 years. The most recent 20 years was married for 20 years and did a lot of the other kind of work. But some people might call me a sorceress. But I do in the morning, and I do work, spiritual work, magic work, decree work, calling for justice, judgment. And so it's what I've been trained for. So I call that it be something to enlighten or level, not defining it, but I'm for self-enlightenment, self-awakening. I believe that many like me have called forth this time, new opening. We saw we're in a locked room. We're ready to go, ascension. Where's all these spiritual things that have been promised other groups and that have been turned against them into slavery? So I do a lot of the promenades, the dance, the Butoh that I do to doing a ritual, invoking energy, light. I do the same. Find me almost kind of feel me first before they go through all the. And so I've been practicing on TikTok, finding people that seem to be in despair, and I just friended him and followed him and kept giving. And then literally, it's almost like he came out of the shadows and darkness. He moving, and I was like, I know I'm not responsible for all of that, but it's like a granny, you know. I can't be around my real children, my blood children, mother in cyberspace, cyberspace granny. I need to figure out how to pull that together in my story, because I had to separate that part. You know, I could be a volunteer on the historic resources and all of that stuff, but I couldn't really fully take it for the changes I was making intentionally. So is that also, and I'm working in real life because I have a lot of, and so I can have my IRL, I can have my virtual location. I'm making it into a game. I mean, it just comes natural to me. The costumes, all of these things that didn't make sense in my life, all of a sudden they make sense.
That does happen.
I'm unfolding.
Or
the opposite, right?
I find that. Yeah, well, I do find things come around like that, like things you don't know why you've done them, and then you wait long enough, and then it all comes, and then things do that, and then you're like, oh, this is what this is for.
It fills in, you know. What an atelier full of costumes when I haven't worked as a costumer in years. And it's just because I love them, and I'm costuming something that so I'm having faith in yourself that you actually inside and your outside is merging a little too strict to see the whole vision, because it's big. It's a big vision, things we are to do, the changes we are to make in the world. It's kind of like when you're 20s and 19, you remember how just I don't know, I thought I knew actually going to do all this shit. You know, I didn't know there's going to be somebody out there opposing my ass. So the spiritual side is I want to integrate. You know, I always thought I'd be like a guru, a teacher. You know, I followed a lot of great master practitioner for probably 40 years. And, you know, I followed teachers of Zen who started teaching Zen because the Japanese really started, you know, having relationships with the female students, and, you know, and okay, so fuckery's fine, but don't talk about it. You know what I'm saying? All the spiritual teachers, they never deal with this, never seem to deal with the problems that we face in the world and in relationship and our sexuality. It's just they try to control stories. I have one called Erotico the Musical, and it's a musical. So I'm working on getting these things chain is helping. You know, me to write these films, record them on the blockchain, share it with other producers and distributors. So that's while I'm making goofy TikToks. So how about you?
So how about me? Well, so I'm sort of rejigging my offers, I guess, because I had. What about me? Well, you know, all this, you know, I was posting like for a year and a half on TikTok. That was my main channel to like get any sort of word out, because at the time, and really now, to be honest, it's the only one where you can, if you can get that sort of reach to regular people. So if you post, you can, like, which is good and bad in a way, because because it really shows if you don't put any hashtags, you truly get shown to random people. So it's like you find out what is quite humbling. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many people out of 100 actually care about what I'm about to say? But it's like, because of the IV thing, I tried to have this mindset in the beginning of like, well, it doesn't actually matter. And I made one of my pieces of content was this. I sort of made a phone background that says it doesn't matter if anybody watches, reads, hears, or sees it. Obviously, it does matter, but in the process of like just doing and making sure you do it, you kind of have to not be in that. Otherwise, it's just it talks about not hearing the praise and not hearing the negativity either. Like staying the course.
Exactly. That's my Gary V. Love that man.
Yeah. Like,
is he really? When I saw his little scribbles, and I'm like, damn, if he can scribble and he's just got, what the hell am I doing? I think my art is just, but what I was lacking is the confidence to just put it out there where your audience is on this planet. Just see where they are. Writing, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a voice that usually you don't hear from. So even if what I do is garbage, do some garbage just to get, prime the pump. Prime the pump and let this flow. I mean, you can't imagine. I have so much, I'm surrounded by so much that I make.
Yeah.
It's like I live in an installation. So
yeah. Well, that's what you get if you're an artist. Like, I actually, and it's you don't have a choice. You have to. And if you stop,
exactly,
you get. It's like having a blockage in the sink or something. Like it's only
really
going to end back.
Sad. I feel really sad. And you know what I'm doing is having been kind of a nun or whatever. There's so many surrendered in foods, from my childhood, and this isn't good, and that's dietary stuff. And all of a sudden, I've been taking them back. Glass of orange juice again, which is something that has memories of my childhood and my grandma table for breakfast. So I'm reaching for those good memories that I surrendered them, to be a stronger or better or whatever the hell, or pure. Taking them back. I'm starting to bake again and love all of these French things. Love until they, sugar's bad and it's connected to the plantation. So I'm like blood that my ancestors put in this shit and baking the fuck out of some macaron.
Yeah. I don't eat any sugar really, like rarely.
Either.
And then, but because I've been, I gave up as well. It's just, but that did occur to me. It's occurred to me before, but it occurred to me in the shop again the other day when it's just like, you're in the aisles, and it's like neon, everything's got like an animal face, and it's all these hoops or whatever, and it's like. And it's in all baked goods, really. It's like, and all this stuff that's like giving people diabetes and like all these epidemics. It's like, it really is, and you touched on it just then. Like, it really is like a sort of, I don't know. Well, I guess nobody really frames it this way, but it is very like a sort of colonial echo. It's like sugar everywhere. Why? Well, that's why, isn't it? Like, and it's like, it's kind of
it's been established,
but it's so everywhere.
Living in,
it's invisible.
So here's what I do in my little witch part. One of the reasons we say grace is to actually transmute. And I know you've heard of alchemy, lead to gold. I do that with sugar. The things I make, I'm like, exists. I'm transmuting this into its highest, I don't know, that so commanding things to be what we need and want for our bodies. And okay, so that poison, but I'm taking the negative and the positive, putting it together, and I'm cooking it in it. You know, I love it. So we're only missing love and oxygen, right, in our bodies. Like being in my 70s. So this is the age fall apart, and your body starts feeling like shit. This is when my body is transmuted. It's changing, losing weight. I'm replacing all of these things that don't work, or being beaten, or records of me being raped. And I'm transmuting those, forgiving the person. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing some deep transcendental body, and I'll be the proof of it. You know, I believe sin is an illusion, and it's made up, and it's a belief construct, just like time. So, okay, if that's what I believe, I have to be the example of it. So we'll see.
Yeah, there's the thing, isn't it? It's like, you know,
but I'm gonna bet for me. Go ahead.
Yeah, you have to claim that, don't you?
You have to at least bet on yourself. And this whole birth to grave, you know, get you on pills and will securely find you military. I'm like, fuck you people.
Yeah.
That's all that's promoted is the death. So I'm like, I'm going to promote the other culture, whatever is not death. I know what it is, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
But
It's the thing about media at the moment. Well, it's not going to change now that the cat's out of the bag in terms of like social media, and I don't think it's even out of the bag. I think that the nose of the cat looking out the bag compared to like the future, if that makes sense. So like people think social media is like quote unquote mature, but like, you know, TikTok came out of nowhere. It's just like they've got no idea what to do. They're all like scrambling. So it's like, and it's all changing. And also the viewership of quote unquote social media compared to traditional media, it just dwarfs it. Like it's like TV, individual TV, like cable stations or whatever. They're like national TV is small compared to like, you know, someone playing video games.
Yeah, they
like
can't catch up because they think it could be more powerful or different.
Yeah. It's
and
just
we're like,
just something that they can't. Yeah. The gap between their inauthenticity and the authenticity of people. Not to say that authenticity means someone's always right, but like they can't compete with the authenticity. So that's why, you know, it's why misinformation is so spreadable, because it's negative,
right?
And then people's react to
and
that.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easy to do bullshit. It's easy to do bullshit.
As we're seeing, I mean, it's just. I mean, that's always true, isn't it? Like, there's no disease that I think there's no disease that Web3 has that it didn't inherit from the existing, you know, culture.
Course,
so it's
because that jump in with it with the old clothes, you know, they don't see. It's like when Jesus, you don't put new wine in old wine skins, and so they think they can jump right into this. NFT, NFT. They in no time, but you know, we just move. You know, they forget that we've had horrible past lives. You know, we've been slaves, we've been this, we just move. When back in slavery time, when the master, then the slaves would change the word and communicate. You know, they keep making up words, new ways. That's what we do. We just move. You know, we're more like a flame is fiery. That's what's very, very frightening. You know, if you look self, it's more like we're not in space. I mean, we're in space, but we're going fast. And if you look down, there's really nothing there. You know, to talk about the experience of being inside the thing, and that one can take their consciousness, and the creation, the world is seen, and our auras are like big clouds also. So I have all theories, but experiences that I have in the other world, like time travel, like Padre Pio was a saint known for bilocation. A lot of the things that the saints experienced are they're talking about the other realms, you know, the other places where there's a reality that is. So I live in that realm, and my is to tell my stories, to explain to regular people. Oh, no.
Just people who don't live in that world.
Yeah, because I want them to be entertained and give me money, paying for the right. I don't care if they believe me. I'm an entertainer, a clown.
Well, it's a real I've seen some, I read some stuff about like one clowning's like there's people who take clowning very seriously. Like, it's a whole discipline. I don't know if you've done like official clowning, but I've
I have
really
Butoh. Do you know Butoh?
Yes, I mean I guess you could. That is like extreme clowning, I suppose. I guess it's like
clown, the unspoken, letting your body speak and letting the unbidden speak. Yeah. So it's definitely.
It's something I've always been in like, in terms of like, art. It's definitely. I think it's a very pure one in that way. It's very, because it's so visceral and because it's so connected to that. I guess it's sort of like, I guess it's sort of taps into that reptile brain a little bit, where it's like the parts.
So it's not like
you know what's going on up here. Most people, no idea. Further back, you know, they're just like doing stuff and they don't even know why.
Right. So this, from listening to your body, okay, or you have a limp, you wouldn't even consider being a ballerina, Butoh dancer, because you're dancing with that thing that may be seen as your deficit, and you're letting that speak, and there's an acceptance of the present right now, even though you may have visions of, you know, like me, Saint-Tropez, and putting on big shows, and you know, I have some big dreams of having a luge and having body shows and serious things to teach about our gender and our sexuality. On nudity, so many people really hate or fear their bodies. We could get in a good relationship with our bodies and our sexuality. We could be alive. I mean, especially young men. Well, young women too. It's just like 20s, and now that I have a younger partner, I get to live my 20s over again, because I had some control over what I was doing, and I could gain pleasure. Because see, when I was brought up, women weren't supposed to, you know, you're just like it was this whole patriarchal bullshit
Sure.
that but it can be changed.
It can be.
It can be.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
can be.
and like you said, you have to, if you want, you have to, if you believe that, you have to live that, don't you? And it's kind of what you're talking about.
Exactly. Can't. So I'm working on being a billionaire, and I'm just admitting it in public. And I'm just, can I do a better job than Bezos? I think so. Can I than Zuckerberg? I think so.
Yeah.
Can I be caring? Because I've done my spiritual work first. Now,
Yeah.
and the heart to make money without how do we tell people about scent and working together as equals and instead of dog eat dog and the whole predatory nature that we've inherited. Workers.
Yeah.
Workers.
I mean, it is a really, it's, I sort of espouse this in marketing, but it's one of those general rules that, like, show, don't tell. Like, people, you can't tell people. Like, people hate being told. Everyone hates being told. I hate being told. They don't. No one wants to be told. Do you want to be told? I don't think you do.
No, I'm still.
Yeah.
I mean, but that ego, I mean, you need the ego for some, just let the ego go. But it takes a sensitivity, right? Self and other people. So I stay alone a lot of the time because and for years I didn't understand that
because
I'm reading empath. I feel other people's thoughts and emotions. So, just learning how to function in this body itself.
Yeah. Circling back to what you said about doing better than Jeff Bezos and also just being a billionaire, like I say this quite often. I was just looking up the number just to check. I thought it'd be lower.
And Elon Musk.
Well, yeah. I don't really look at these numbers very often, but Dogecoin currently sitting at 10 billion market cap. If a literal dog meme can get a $10 billion market cap, anything is possible. And it's just like and the stories that have been told so far, it's so they keep crumbling because these people, they haven't done the work that you're referring to. And it's
exactly. Yeah. And I worked with Lady Rocket for a while, and she's from the space industry, and so she was in the realms of Musk, and I for quite a while. But when you're at such a end of the blowhorn, you can't see anybody else succeeding unless they are on your team. I can't be on someone's team that think that they're the answer for me. I mean, we're the answer, and she may be financially better off than always equal if we're brought together. There's some reason we're bringing in a balance. I know about me. I can't say about other people. But so when people look down, they're blinded. The people have blinders on. White supremacy has made blinders. Misogyny has made blinders. And I just spent a lot of listening. And okay. If that's what you think, then that just means we don't work just like. It just means you're not seeing me.
Yeah. I mean, you need to, people, there are a lot of people operating, I guess, under that idea that, well, I guess they forget. Because if you ask people, I guess, no, not everyone. I was going to say, if you ask most people, do you think we're people equal? I think the average person would probably tell you yes, but there's all sorts of ways live. I mean, there's always and yeah, they got a difference between the way people things the different people will say and what people will do. And then in regard to being, you know, all that sort of hierarchical, especially in the context of like organizations,
yeah,
getting some sense that, like you said, that they're the beacon somehow, and then
they
everyone else is
know,
sort of, yeah,
right, kind of lost. 50 years, I've just been lost in the desert. And maybe desert, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a lot of people working for me. If they're not around, I don't know what to do for myself. I'm surprised when I visit Nigeria, and the doctors and the people, they had cooks, they had people to keep their house and stuff, and carry on, like, kind of very uncomfortable with that. But I need to think about, okay, if I have $1 billion, am I going to hire people? Are we going to have cooperative partnerships? Like some kind of cooperative? I don't really understand the hierarchical top of the hierarchy. You're for sure going to go crazy and think you're Jeffrey Bezos.
But that's someone posted another TikTok I was talking about how, like, there's been studies that, like, being a billionaire can give you brain damage, basically. Like, and you lose certain capacities, and one of them is like, yeah, this empathic response to other people's lives, basically. Which is why, you know, a man can sit on the rafters and look at a warehouse of people who are like clearly struggling and just be like, yes, this is good what I have done.
I made this.
And there's lots
what I made.
And it's like, yes, there is a greatness to what has been done, but it's in that sort of but it's not necessarily goodness. Do you know what I mean? Like, Genghis Khan was great.
And who likes just his servants? So who really in their life, like, yeah, that's what I want for the rest of my life.
People who want that for themselves to be in that position. Yeah.
So that's my experiment as a billionaire today. What would I think? Wow, if I was a billionaire, I'd be doing what I want to do, and that's what I do. I do some work, I do some cooking, I do some dancing, I sing and make myself in France right now. That's just kind of the time travel, set all these old pathways that we've been programmed with, especially generationally. Like I'm always surprised that the younger generation is just like, what the fuck are they doing? I mean,
it depends who you look at, but yeah, in general. But then I just think that all the time, with everyone. If you don't, you can put that lens that works for everyone. You can.
You're not kidding.
If you want to look at people that way,
I have to say that, I don't know if I have dyslexia, these things, because in my day they didn't diagnose any of that shit. But I'm through dimensions. I've always seen things other people weren't. And I'm like, well, I can't be the only one. Where are the other people like me? And
yeah, I think it's like that, isn't it? Well, I think people in smaller communities, people like that are shamans and leaders, because there's less there's so many extrinsic reasons why someone with these sort of visionary capacities gets choked in the systems we have today, because so much of there's a I don't really in terms of there's people are isolated, they're separated from each other, and they seem. I saw some graphs the other day about like the people most spend the most time with, and like as you get older, it's the people you work with in your workplace, and as you get older, it's like family goes off a cliff, friends goes off a cliff, and it just becomes work, 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 work. And it's like, you know, these corporate environments are not family environments.
No, I want to promote adult play and keeping our minds alert. You know, all of these new things unfolding.
Okay. Taking a quick interim break into another dimension, apparently. Yeah, just do that. I'll message him on Discord. May actually switch to something else potentially, because this is quite janky. Because it's my computer. Oh, that may or may not be at the end. Ooh.
Oh man.
Are we live? We're back.
Okay. Now you're talking to.
I was just joking about you, like. I was just joking about you, like taking a call in a dimension or something, because it just went to this like glitch noise.
Yeah, somebody. Oh yeah. Someone called me.
Okay.
Now I don't know around.
I was just. I've been doing my best to listen, but the gods are not smiling on the platform that I'm using. So I was wondering if there's a way of getting a clearer connection by going to like Google Meet. Streamed at that point. I don't think
that's okay. Well, I don't know.
Just
maybe
keep going.
we've how long have we talked today?
Well, it's about so we could wrap it up. It's been a roller coaster, I think, conversationally. As well as the struggle of like trying to like listen through the jankiness of the connection. But I think that's partly to do with my computer, which is my computer at the moment that I'm using is it doesn't have Wi-Fi. I have to plug in a cable into the router. So that's how old it is.
Okay, well, we could do it on YouTube though, right?
Yeah, we can do. I think you can do. I can't stream to YouTube directly. Google Meet. I don't know if you can like beam another person in directly on YouTube, or whether you have to stream OBS or something.
Maybe a partner
or
one
Twitter
for
Spaces is another option as well.
Yeah, or Twitter Spaces. If we can find a better one, and maybe we can be more focused in our. But at least we did it.
Yeah, I mean that was yeah, I was getting like stressed out about different aspects of it, like is it like but not massively. I have to just keep reminding myself that like you just said, it's like the point is to do it, like episode 0.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. There, I did. I'm so proud of me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we can I'm going to start telling my stories soon. I have my scripts and I've got characters. I'm not sure how I'm going to do that, but I don't know. I was doing that, like reading. They would have a day that you could just read from your scripts and immensely.
Yeah.
So what do you do every day?
every day. So I'll try to post a TikTok. I'm like reading my office at the moment. I kind of want to like. What I got to was previously I've been consulting offer before. I had some affiliate links, and I wasn't really sure what I was trying to do. But now I've got a bit more idea about like what's the point of like brand digital thing that's gotten to the point it has, and so I'm sort of trying to figure out that to sort of have it be a sort of I want to sort of not have to. I want it to not have to take so much of my time, basically, to try and build it. So I also want to build something that basically enables other people to do things, because there's things that I want to get on with, but you know, but the point of it being a sort of, I don't know, consultancy / micro agency is that I can enable other people to do things, and then but there's projects I want to do, so I can use sort of myself as a case study as well. So there's art projects I want to do. There's music who's got sidetracked into like marketing and business and all this stuff, because like I first learned about it as a way to try and figure out like how can I because I spent most of my I spent like after dropping out of uni from depression, I basically spent all 10 years in hospitality, and sort of by accident and didn't mean to be there. So I was like, okay, I'll try and do something completely different. January 2020, just before like that cliff edge, I started being self-employed as a digital marketer. And then because everything that happened since then, I've just been sort of like shuffling around and repositioning my offers whilst trying to consistent on the posting, so that I'm at least building something and then connecting with people, and then drawing sort of like money myself, like even though it's like, you know, and at the start of this year to get to the point where enough, like some sort of revenue was trickling in, but really not enough to live off. So then I went back to I just keep going back and forth from the drawing board, basically. As well as in conceptualizing projects and like, and I got burnt out from TikTok as well, because it was the main thing I was doing towards building my like business or brand or whatever was posting, because like that was I didn't have any money for ads or anything, and I didn't really have know who I wanted to do things for. So I was like, posting every day, at least I'm doing that. That's something that's sort of undeniable. So like, so, and now I'm just getting to the point now, what projects do I really want to push forward and actually go from like brain to see? So like one of those is a crowdfunding a pub. I'd like to do that. I'd like to crowdfund, like, that's just an atomized example, but I actually want to sort of take over any kind of space. It could be, because it could be in a hospitality space, it could be a cafe, or it could be any kind of real estate, to be honest. I'm agnostic as to
what I want to do.
Space to take over.
That's what I want. I want to get this church. It's only about 3,000 square feet that I can experiment in. So I'm going to follow you and crowdfund it. I mean, it's really not a lot of money. It's 300,000, but and have solar and you know, have it really be an example of it
just doesn't seem like it's that hard a thing to do, to just like make a good promise and keep it. And I don't like but it's because what we were talking about before, about the only people, like the most wide-eyed people in the beginning are all the people who realize, oh, I can just use this as a grift and I can just copy and paste thing, and then we can just write that denominator. All that stuff. But you know, because
I think you need a good promo team. You need a good promote you.
Now it's like I'm not really worried. That's the thing. I've learned enough. I know enough about marketing now. I'm not worried about that part of it. It's like, what do I like? It's the practicality of like.
Well, then I'm glad I know you.
It's like
I don't know.
But the thing is like, what?
I can make shit.
Yeah.
I'm an
It's like
artist.
the bit that yeah. I mean, me too. And that's one of my things. And one of the things I want to do is sell my art, but like, there's other things I want to do as well. It's me. Prioritization is one of my big things, and it's ADHD related, but it's also, it's not just that. It's also me knowing myself enough to know if I'm going to commit to something, am I really going to see it through, or is it just a transient thing? But there's a few things now. The pub's one, but that's actually quite like, that's a lot of well, it's a lot of risk and liability. Like, I think I could do it because I've got all the hospitality experience and the marketing and blah blah blah. But at the same time, it's like there's regulatory stuff, blah blah blah. So like, one idea that I think is maybe a quicker path, like less resistance, is I heard about something recently called an instant library, where people pay like the person that I saw did it. They pay like £15, some nominal fee, and then people can come and like take instruments. They can come and play them free, and out like a book in a library. And that's like, in terms of space and setup, it's just like, that's a very simple thing to do. You just need a retail unit and a bunch
how
of
big
instruments.
is your town? How's your
well, it's
town?
Brighton and Hove, so it's about 500,000 people. It's like south of London. It's like it's totally doable. I just need to. I only recently found out about that, and I was, should I do instead of a pub, or should I do it as well as a pub? Because I also want to do a cafe. So, but I kind of want it, but because I kind of want everything, and because of what NFTs are, I kind of want to. I released an NFT collection for like each idea. So people can then vote with their money, essentially, and that's what crowdfunding is. I just want to use NFTs as a vehicle for that.
And you'll have a proof of attendance, a PO app, and then they can get extra benefits. I mean, I want a place where people come together. And look at my art.
There are places that people come together, but there's not much diversity of those kind of places. It's all very like, this space is for this, but restaurants are for eating, venues are for gigs. It's all very
right.
I want an everywhere place.
I want an artistic and a place where things sexy, or do flogging. I don't know. It's not overseen by a Christian overlord.
Do what you like.
Well, my house, I mean, I'm in the pit of Christianity, dumbbell. And so part of what I do is basically experience love and things some of these people just never experienced. I mean, they were slave catchers. These are the descendants of people whose the markets. So some of these people are fucking insane. Those markets. And then some of the people are just insane. I was in workshops where grandfathers sold to other people in their other clan partners. I've seen. My first husband was part of the Hells Angels. So he was so I've seen a lot of how people in poverty are apart when if we would just come together and just do our own thing, they just work for us. But to me, it's getting a story out. Stories not as a newscast, but this is just a funny little non-binary people, and what is that? And what there's so much LGBTQ people here. I mean, it's just like really. It's just like, wow. Why don't we just have fun and have a party and eat good food and dance and then have it's consensual. You know what I'm saying?
And it's a good
story. It's like, who is making these rules? Sorry.
Yeah.
So even my life is a good story. Meeting someone, my partner, he was 22. And I was like his teacher. I'm like, teach about this, being an artist. And then he took it to the next level. And I was just like, shattered all my shit, you know. My, you know, older people should be with older people. I'm like, you know, people just love who you love and then get on with your life. And why are you here? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And then
I saw someone actually, it's called.
you're breaking up. Now you're frozen.
My phone, otherwise my computer. Because I opened a new tab, so the computer. Am I screwed up on your end?
Just your kind of lagging.
Lagging. I opened up a tab, and my computer almost had a heart attack.
Well, when I'm a billionaire, son, I'm going to make sure you have the best of.
Oh, yeah, this website, Less Bad.
Less bad? What is
it? It says over here, the way things are, just awful. And like, right now.
We're moving
and it says, what are we doing? What are we doing? I mean, seriously, what is going on? That's literally what it says. And then they're asking people for people like business, environment, and government to like submit strategies for problems and stuff. But that's their framing. Like, can we just make things less bad, please? Can we just try? Figure out what are we doing here?
But they steal your ideas and then they never give you credit and then they never hire you for the projects. I was on the Historic Resources Commission and Public Art and Culture Commission, and they just take and take and take unless you're in the political. So I'm just going to make my own group. There got to be people.
I mean, that's what all this stuff allows for now. I mean, people have organized in new ways because of the internet. Before blockchains, and now they've got even more new ways to organize with the internet because of blockchains. Like, it's just an extra little thing to point out and go, okay, we're going to like orientate ourselves around this thing that we can use, and there's no permission. You don't need anyone's permission. I mean, there's some permission.
Exactly.
You said you got banned off all these platforms, for example. Like, there's some permissioning.
Yeah.
But like the internet itself, you're free to use, obviously.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was actually good. I mean, I was really stressed. I spoke to stay in touch with my family, my extended family, my children, my grandchildren away from me. But, you know, we used to be on Marco Polo, but I would a larger group and kind of organize my family. I mean, we have a lot of family that my being a success, meaning just that I show up on success in my family. You know, they see my picture, they see me talking, you know, they see me going to China and Africa, and they're like, oh. So the younger kids that's the role model that I am or try to be for my family. Women, you know, how many women have seen a woman like me who's done as much shit?
No, I mean that's the reason. That's the reason that I wanted you to speak to you, and for you to be first. And you asked me what I'm doing is like earlier. And I didn't really have an answer to that, but like one of the things I'm trying to do is like center other people's experiences. Like my brand's name, it's got my name on it, but it's not really. I don't really want to do it for me. I'm not really interested. I'd rather have it be a vehicle for other people. And you said before about like not getting credit for ideas and stuff, and that made me think how it's like, you know, a lot of these new things allow people to sort of be the template and show the template. So like you don't need if you sort of do things in a way that makes your life and the people around you better, or people connected to that project, be just not being so oh, it's my idea, like get credit. It's like more like here's a way of doing things, to run with it, see what you can do with it, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Just a different
I mean,
mentality. Because then you don't end up with one person at the top going like, oh, do all this and that, the other. If the seeds are sowing a system and resources and things other people can use, they don't require you.
Well, I think to go through your life hiding part of who you are, because society level of being able to deal with the fullness, instead of hiding, I think when we come out and just be who we are, along a lot faster. At least that's what I've noticed.
Yeah.
Trying to make my family feel good. Well, forget it. I've never been able to do that. They never understand. They don't understand. I mean, they admire something like, and I just must accept that. And that
you can't force people that realization.
No. So I just have to keep on role modeling, keep on living, keep on. But you know when they'll really like you, have that $1 billion.
Well, 2020, 2023. What year is it anyway? 2023. When are you going to be a billionaire? Do you have a timeline?
I'm one right now, so.
I'll see. Yes, of course. Well, there is no time anyway.
So you're wondering when the Bitcoin and Ethereum.
No, I'm not worried about that. I don't care about the price.
Okay.
I don't care about the price. I care about getting more of it.
Listen,
that's the way you can do it as well. It's the quickest way is to sell it. Like it's to sell NFTs because like people don't know what to do. There's this ridiculously frothy market where almost all of it is bullshit. And that's a good thing, because as soon as you pop your head out and you you shine for people,
real,
they'll be like, okay, that's the one. That's not some bullshit. That's real.
The real deal. Ben, I have 7 acres. I live in the country in acres, and it's just land. I mean, it's like I thought I would, or I've had people come out and live here or try green building, those things. I have to have the money to actually pay people to they have not, I don't believe in people working for free. Hello. Well, that's the whole charity bullshit. Getting people to volunteer in Africa. It's like
these people have salaries. They're like, it's a really good job to be a head of a charity. To get a lot of money.
They are there representing the colonial past, basically, somewhat awoke.
Did you know about the thing about Oxfam? Like, there was actually a big scandal where they were like, they were violating people basically in their positions. They put themselves in these positions.
That's what the charities have been doing. They're just church. They get where they can have people lesser than them, and then they take it. They steal the money too. I mean, I've witnessed this. That our project was. The people were just surprised. They were behind my back trying to, offer me this and offer. That's not what we're doing here. We're following and respecting the people. We're not paying off the. But that's the only way something will change. Individual change agent, and I'm done with that. I'm like, okay, I did my time. I did my service to God and country, to my city. I turn bitches. It's time for me to be an adult woman and just enjoy my fucking life. I'm gonna drink more wine from the south of France. had not been drinking and all. I'm like, I'm going to drink wine and do whatever it takes. I'm like, wow, thinking about my pleasure. You know, instead of my sacrifice I've given. So that's what this 70-year, I've promised myself south of France on the beaches and drinking wine and having workshops with need to chill. Some people, I did 2 events here and sober, and they were in my art gallery, and the thing was just people to 10 or something would just be naked and sober so often together. And it was interesting. I just realized how immature people are, you know, especially men who are like, you know, like children. So we have been treated like don't get to make choices as full adults. So that's part of, like, we could all be happier if we were more in tune with ourselves, our sexuality, our freedom to over our sexuality. Anyway, it's all part of the story. It's all part. So I think there's get ready to go to work. Bye, Britt. Have a good. So, what does your partner do?
They're an artist, but their day job is a linguist. So they do teaching, they do translation, they do interpreting and stuff. But they're an artist as well, and we're both trying to find our way of being that more explicit in the world, as opposed to, because there's being an artist, the vocation, and there's being the artist, like you know that you are, like you just are an artist sort of thing.
You just are.
So so we are both artists, but we're not prolific. So we both want ways of like, you know, again, finding that way of doing it where you'll show up for it, what you actually want to do again. And it comes back to what you were just saying, and what needs to be said over and over again. It's like, really, what is your body telling you want to do? And, and then not, because you don't want to. Yeah, you just don't want to. You don't want to build a house you don't want to live in.
Right.
So
and
that,
you know
I guess, yeah.
What is that? Love, and the money will come. I could never understand I can do that, because being on Social Security, have to look for some. So the money's going to come out of what I'm doing and I wanted to tell you also, don't let yourself get too helping other people except me.
Yeah.
You know what
No, that's a balance. You're very right. It's
you
a
know what
balance trying to strike, because it's like I do. When you ask me what do I do, I like, and it made me think of something that I thought about what I have been doing, and it's like, you know, the thing about, you know, you're in a plane, you put your own mask on first before you have the person next.
Exactly.
And like up until this point, with my sort of like since my shift from hospitality, I've been trying to do both at the same time. Basically, I've been trying to like help myself, but then also my business is to help other people. And it's like I've also, but during that time, I've also been going through a bunch of stuff as well. So it's like I've been trying to help myself in parallel with this. So this idea that I'm doing a business that is somehow going to help other people because I've acquired these skills or whatever. And now it's more about like, now it's more vision based. Now it's like, what specific outcome I want. How do you know? How do I want to help them? Part of it is I want to work with people on their projects, but a part of it is harks back a bit to what we were saying before as well about being the example. So like the best way for me to help people see a different way of doing an NFT project, for example, is to make that version of it that's successful and relate and has a real interaction with the real economy, meaning real people. Because when I say the real economy, I don't mean the financial system. I mean the people who are alive in the world every day doing things and what they're exposed to, like actually putting things in front of people, not in the internet where they don't care because it's just, what's an NFT? Who gives a shit? Like, people don't care about these things. They care about their life, what's in front of them, what you can do for them. So that needs to be solved.
Yeah, real life stuff is important. So I may have a 3D virtual gallery. I have a place where people can come and eat forbidden foods like macarons and play. And I think they, for that, have them picked up in a limb, just make it an experience. Have them brought to this place, and there's food, there's dance and entertainment. Yeah, it's an experience. Is selling, and they don't, they usually don't. You don't get what they promise. And I'm part of the kink community here, and it's underground. See how oppressed LGBTQ people are. I'm just like a safe place to just go. Safe place to just drink or coffee or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the least we can ask.
Safe place has got like a bad. Safe place has been sort of like. I mean, all these phrases and words get ruined by people at some point. But like, safe space is definitely one that's been ruined because it's like, it gets hand waved away like, oh, you want a safe space, but it's true that real people out there, they don't have a safe space. Like, it's not a big ask.
Yes.
And it's like, what are you really against if you're against a space that is safe?
Well, there's a lot of people think they can save these old institutions, and that there's talking bullshit these days. They're doing. I notice in this area, I mean, the people are so mean. If somebody's having a hard time, it's their fault. Yeah, somebody broke into the. Doesn't it sound like somebody's crying out for a need? Christians.
Christians.
Anyway. Christians.
Did you forget your core beliefs again? Conveniently.
That's why I want. I am a minister, so when I buy this church, Maison Rouge, the red church, kind of like what the Native Americans have, the red patch, do the true teachings. Just the true teachings. How about that?
So this church how long has it been on the market?
Well, it's investment, so it's not really for sale. It's just empty, and it just.
Sure. Well, that's better then, isn't it? You just walk up and be like, "Gimme."
Well, I know. I did real estate for about a tormented 3 years. It was my ever experience, but my brain needed to understand how stuff works. Building would be perfect for a fractionalized purchase program, but I have to have my programs laid out. What I'm going to teach.
I think the best vehicle for for that sort of thing. Like, how because obviously it's just complete Wild West in terms of regulation, but also not because there is existing. A scam is a scam. So like a scam on the blockchain is still a scam. So like, I think there's a lot of stuff where it's like, I think it's probably like, before there's like a framework, like a legal one, it is up to people to use it in an honest way. And if they don't, then they don't. And there's nothing anyone can do about that. But if they do it in an honest way, like how can funds for radical projects be bootstrapped basically with the internet? And it's like you can do people get stuff taken off of Kickstarter or you know, they withhold the funds, and you know, because they've got a terms of service. That's not true with NFTs. Like if you can get someone to buy an NFT, you got it. You it's up to you. It's like it's a real like it's a trust thing. I mean, like the machine is. They talk about blockchain being trustless, and yes, the machine is trustless, but that's a vehicle to make it easier for people to trust each other if they choose to, because both parties can point at this token, and everyone knows that's not going to change unless a transaction takes place. We can all point at this and say, yes, this is what this means. But it's just there's all this white noise at the moment. There's all this crap. But like, it's because, but you know, it will keep bubbling up. Like, everything is like all these. There will be as people get to grips with themselves, they connect with like-minded people, and they learn how to do stuff. All this stuff basically. Not only learn how to do it, but like figure out how it ought to be done, because it's all new as well.
Inventing it.
Yeah. So, but it's going to be grassroots. It's not going to be some the biggest. There's no. I don't think there's going to be any like. Well, there might be, but I don't know. Yeah, from what I think it's good for, I don't see room for like any bullshit really. Like it's just all going to get ironed out because people.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah, that's what we. Yeah. So why do what we don't want to do? We're leaving what we don't want to create with the power and authority and technology to do it. Encourages me to just keep going on and being clearer how to present it to someone and say, hey, it's ready to be marketed. What do I do? You know, how do we all make money from this? Because that's the whole mission, is the effort and the payback.
Yeah.
You know,
it's good to have. It's good to have types of payback that aren't just the money, but the money helps. It's part of the sustainability. It's part of the there's deficits in lots of things for every people. One is people around where you live, they're mean. That's a deficit. And there's the deficit of people who want to do these interesting things, just not having to do it. That's another deficit. There's through this process of producing media, distributing it, letting the algorithm connect the relevant people, basically.
You're cutting out.
I'm in two minds about TikTok. I don't know whether it's like good. Anyway, I don't know.
I don't know. We just keep going forward, and so hey, and you understand me a little bit better. I understand you a little better. Pioneers, and I'm pretty fearless. I'm just like, what? I'm 74. What the fuck? What? Who am I trying to impress? I don't have a boss. I have to
you don't have a
program my mind.
Who in this world is above you? At this point.
Just perfection. That's all, and it's a loving, and it's not this patriarchal, hierarchical, just mean kind of. I'm excited. I'm glad to get to talk to you, and I've no time. I'm continuing to prepare a place that people can actually come to my house. I have this whole. I've done installations on Norse culture, vision story, and working with Odin deities, and then I've worked with Oshun, who's Yoruba. So I kind of see like these are opposites, and it's very exciting to create clothing and more adult play. You know, what is adult play? I don't know. Just having
it's not
fun and laughing a lot.
yeah. I mean, there's
Consent,
yeah. There's some
compassion.
things people do, but again, there's not much diversity. There's festivals and there's
Right.
bars, clubs. It's pretty narrow.
Yes, it's narrow in all of our cultures, you know, whether you're black or white, or there's this like, okay, you can do this in this little circle right here to culture, but don't get naked, you know, or get a bird, or don't, I mean, like,
Yeah.
we have choices. So anyway, I think we have so much more going than the no way that they're going to survive. They're not going to survive. They've been cut off, and that's a spiritual act we do as witches and bitches. We do that their energy shall not pass. That the light that they use for their existence and they're misusing, like Trump, let them be out there without, you know, a parachute, without the light that is the very energy they're composed of that they work against. So that's some of the things that us witches and bitches do.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to being the example, being the better story, because they tell a story. They're good at it. Like Trump's a great storyteller in his way.
Oh yeah.
And it convinces people, rides the wave for people's whatever. But he's also he's as much as that energy isn't going to make it, it works today.
Well, and what a great example to the world to see where these tyrants are not winning the battles anymore, because you shall not pass, you shall not pass, you shall not pass, you know. Seriously, you know, and in the past we had to do these things in secret, witchcraft. You know.
Yeah, I mean, it was a community role, wasn't it? Like the kind of people, we were talking about earlier, these people who are marginalized today, less marginalized. They'd be seen as like, there'd be resources to the community because of what they're capable of and what they can do and what they can access.
Right.
And
if you look at
what it does
indigenous,
for people. Yeah.
And there
still exists. Yeah.
Yeah, and the more they come into contact with Western society, they start. I went to Oshogbo, Nigeria, the first time. Oh, they were telling me all these things that we tell their secrets to the West, which is not always. Then they can't. Then they have to hide more things that they practice that the West just. I was like, so a lot of times that's why the men are out front, because the first thing my ex, when we went there and he saw topless women, and first thing he wants to do is take a picture of them. And I'm like, no, this is not the West. This is not your Playboy. These really, and their breasts are not evil. Our bodies are not evil.
It's just a different, yeah,
it's just not everything comes through the Western lens. The Yoruba is a whole, I call them central, see through a central lens, where there is nothing outside. There's no, it's a kind of a monotheistic that just is continually being out of balance or in balance. Wrong, then you're expected to bring that back into balance by some act. Basics. It's kind of like indigenous basics.
Yeah.
Your Druid or Norse.
Yeah. even just in the languages as well. I mean, it's a bit occasionally this stat about how many languages are disappearing, and it's like languages themselves are like ways of thinking. There's things you can't really say in one language that you can say in another. That sort of thing. And the words that don't
I've gotten
exist.
back to French.
Yeah, French, German's got some good ones. Yeah,
it's just speaks like a higher vibration than English
French
and German. You know, it is from your heart and up through your head, and sensual, and more. Well, your body instead of it being repressed, like in German, you know, everything. It is being looked at and analyzed before. Anyway.
Yeah, some of those German philosophers are very unhappy.
Aren't they? Well, appreciate the German mind. I appreciate it. It's amazing how it could just look. And, you know, I was married to a German for 20 years. But we learned to relax from me, and I learned to have more disciplined thought.
Yes.
I mean, we didn't have an argument because I didn't understand. If there was something I didn't understand, I would just start. If you don't have the tools, you're just frustrated, right? If you don't have the language tools, the linguistic tools, and you're frozen.
Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. That's probably the base frustration, really. Like, if someone's ever really agitated, it's probably a communication problem at the end of the day. Like, otherwise.
Hello.
Otherwise, what are you getting?
Yeah, that's why. That's why images, I think, and colors, art, dance, communicate on the different levels instead of just your intellect.
Sure. Yeah. It's hard. Well, that's kind of like my sort of art thesis. Can do for people to, but what they do if they do their thing, they're articulating things. They're articulating the unarticulated. So people have their feelings. They don't know what to do with them. They got no way of. They don't have expression. They rely society relies on artists to do this work for them. Essentially, that's what the work is. It's this emotional digestion, and then.
But no one's telling them that.
Well, no, that's lost. See? Yeah, it's not. It's some art. Is this? You know, people have this idea that art is just, or it's what it is. What it is. But you've got this art world, or whatever. You've got kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, just kind of difficult as well because that's just a story, isn't it? Like, what's the overarching story? And art world's got its own canon, but it's divorced from what the essence of it.
Well, my art education, when I look at these scribbles and cartoons that people are calling NFTs, that would be commercial art. That is not fine art. So I think it's what I say it is. It's commercial, it's fine, it's social, it's world changing, it's new streams of income, industries like the space industry, other people that have money with it, with the cool thing, the new thing, and for that we're not cheating, we're not lying. Well, I'm offering you to giggle and laugh and make you feel like a new person, and then I deliver on it. Just deliver on it. I mean, I have a lot of silly I want to share with the world. I mean, there's enough silly things. I have a chance.
Yeah, it all needs to be out there.
Yeah,
everyone's stuff. It does need to be out there. The tools are there. Funny how but the way, partly the way the tools are made a bit obstructive because so focused on like the wrong things. They're focused on the followers, they're focused on the likes, they're focused on these numbers because the society is run by people who are obsessed with a line going up. So that's what everyone's, you know, so that's the way people engage. Artists and creatives, they get really upset by only, you know, every job gets shown to like, I don't know, 150 people, 250 people minimum. Like if you go out into the street, busk, like that's a really busy street. Like,
yeah.
It's like, but because it's through this little square, like people, there doesn't have that sort of visceral thing. Yeah, I mean, it started by, I think TikTok is, you know, for all it's bad, the good it has done is it is breaking down that people have, most like 80% of TikTok accounts have got a post on them or something. Like most people have posted something.
Yeah.
And the tools are, everyone's, you know, it's much more accessible tool set for like videography and stuff. Like,
and
stitching as well, the feet, like stitching and duets and stuff. Like it's just these collaborative functions.
I love that. And you talk, I could make my movie now. I'm like, oh, I don't need the old. So
yeah,
you know, every day I learn something that progresses my forward.
Yeah. I mean, the model now is,
and the news.
It comes back to. I mean, it's just Gary Vee's gospel again, but like it's just
totally.
You know, point the camera at the thing.
That's
literally it. It's just that should do it. Like just let people know.
And
otherwise, how would they know?
Yeah, they know. It's like
someone asked me. I spoke to someone the other day about that. They said you know, the main thing they're struggling with is with the storytelling. Or the thing they wanted to talk to me about is how they do the storytelling. And it's like, well, the story at the moment is you. You're trying to do this thing by yourself.
Yeah.
So tell that story, like, because until you've got something to show to people, you've got all this time in between to also be showing them something.
Yeah, it's not working. You know, putting together a production team and putting this in the theater.
Yeah,
no, and the
just
theater
like a
is
running
going to come.
documentary, basically, like a vlog.
Right.
Just
right.
vlog and blog.
I've got years. I was on YouTube like 10, and so I've documented all of this stuff in Nigeria and all this stuff that was new. Rethinking how to reuse that, because only a certain thousand, but there are people that are interested in religion, the tradition. So how do I redo that?
Yeah.
But my thing is, what do I start with? What pull the trigger on the first thing that's ready to go? So we're working on some of those things, and merchandise. And the thing is my mind is all, so I've had to look at the cycles through which I'll be sewing for 3 months, then I'll be drawing for 3 months, then I'll be baking and I'm like, oh, okay, so that'll come. So I'm making my house so I can do these different the whole thing, and maybe doing workshops with people coming over. You know, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm excited to shift from helper to a person that says, I need help. I need help. And my partner helps, and he does streaming, so I get a kind of a different outlook on the whole. And you know, he keeps his eyes on Bitcoin and what's happening in the markets and stuff. Typical billionaire behavior.
Yeah. Eyes on the prize.
Eyes on the prize, man. Look at what we want.
Cool. We just cranked out an hour, I think.
I know. I know. Well, I think that's what happens, and it, like, you feel like you know them, but you don't. On TikTok, I felt like times that it was like old friends getting back together for a chat. It's kind of cool. It's definitely kind of cool.
That's kind of what I want. There's one of my sort of one of several reasons I wanted to do something like this on an ongoing basis is so I can chop it up. I don't have to worry so much about having to come up with something every day. Then also, the connection thing really. Like I've got to where I got to with TikTok. It's like, okay, great. I follow all these. I'm connected to all these people who like. I'm interested in what their lives are interesting. I'm interested in what they're trying to do today. I'm interested in what they've done in the past. They're like-minded because they're connected to me because of things I've been saying. So, like, what am I going to do with that? And step one is really just having conversations with them, and like outside of like, I don't, like I know having a conversation with someone where they don't have to book as formal consulting sessions. You know what I mean? I don't want that to be my only relationship with the people that I've found through this platform. It's an opportunity to do that as well, because then it also it's also an opportunity to platform other people, and then they can get connected to each other as well, and then sort of lift that whole. So because I see some people are connected, like, oh, it's interesting, these friends in like they've met each other and stuff, but then there's people I'm connected to where I'm like, well, I know they don't know about each other, and I'm sure they'd have a really interesting conversation. Like, so there's that aspect to it as well, where I want to I want to have individual conversations with people, but I also want to host conversations that I don't have to I don't have to do as much, basically.
I understand.
Glue person who sort of makes other things together.
Well, if you find other people like me that you feel like our project, you can help market it.
I think it's a good. I think some sort of coalition of grassroots projects appropriate.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it is. That's what I'm interested in. It's like it's in terms of what I want. To grow. It's people do.
Yeah.
It's people who at the moment basically trying to figure it out by themselves, just to make a community of those people instead of them all trying to figure it out by themselves.
So for 6 months, we had a group here called Web3 Appalachia. Frog and I, my partner, and 2 other people, and we met weekly every Thursday house. And we were just onboarding. That's what we tried doing here. We were having public meetings where we were doing onboarding, just explaining there. I have no just awareness. So we've done that. We did it in town at the American Cultural Center. We did a night there. We did over across the street at our community. That for 6 months. But after a while, people realized, not that I bring the subject or Frog brings anybody who's a part of the team brings. So just being an example for hierarchical leadership is kind of difficult for people because there's nowhere else in that they're expected to bring something to the table as much as a group.
People are so used to that.
Yeah. So after 6 months, I realized that we were the only ones bringing something to the table, even though we were doing in person, going out for pizza. And I was like, okay, I don't wait. And so we're doing more things with the FetLife community. People are more in line with their body. You know what I mean?
You're niching down.
Yeah, right. That people are not teachers hiding. I need to be with people that aren't hiding, that are how do I come out of whatever and be the fullness of me And I have this mend to my mind, make something from the heart, and market it using Web3. And I make up songs and all these, you know. I just have so much stuff. I need to share it, or I'm doing crazy person. No. Well, you need to share. You live your life, so you can share it, not just to be alone.
Yeah. I saw there was a guy talking about music. He was giving a lecture or something, and he was saying about like basically the same thing about musicians per se, but it's just true across the board in the same way as saying is something like, you know, if you are a musician, don't die with it, with your songs inside you or something like that. And it's like, yeah, that's true.
That's why we
and
have
it's like it doesn't have to, songs or dresses or
dances.
Yeah, as long as it's not murders, like
murders.
As long as just like any. Well,
that
I don't know.
That's the only thing I haven't done in this life. I haven't murdered one.
I know it's going to give you ideas.
Yet,
now, so.
Yet, I haven't.
Maybe we shouldn't make you a billionaire. Maybe I shouldn't.
Come on, trust me.
Trust me. Trust me, I'm a future billionaire.
Yeah, I've got my ego on. She's wearing a dress right now. I just want to have a good time. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Have a good expense. I want people to laugh with me. They can laugh at me. You know, send me the Ethereum. Ching, ching, ching.
Here's my wallet address.
Yeah, my wallet. Yeah. If you like this joke, this woman is nice, send her money. It's very simple.
It's very
TikTok helps us refine our message, right? Doesn't it?
Yeah, it helps. Yeah, it's definitely a refining process. But I need to establish some regularity, some routine, some ritual, basically. With podcast is a vehicle for that. Basically, a podcast is just a word. I don't really care. It doesn't have to be streamed somewhere. It could just be, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. It's just some sort of like something like that.
It's a record of this conversation that changed the world. Right?
Yeah.
It did. It changed your and my world. The world.
Yeah. But then we also, the next level is like scaling across platforms, which is obviously a bit of a technical way of saying it, but like I want to get one to YouTube, I want to get one more Twitter things.
Yeah.
Because there's more people there. The people are there as well. They're everywhere. So it's
exactly.
Get in front of them.
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel too. Share it there. And Twitter, YouTube, and Twitter are my two. So
it's just there.
Yeah, it's there. Well, and Web3 cadet.
We're all cadets.
Riding through time and space.
First Battalion.
The billionaire over here trying out people for the billionaires bunker right here.
I think it might be time for me to wrap up.
I think so. I think we just the first
I'm just running out of energy, to be honest. Like it's not that. It's not. I'm not sick of your face.
Yeah, I'm
not sick of your voice. Just
I haven't eaten either, but we just feel and I think we just did it.
Yeah, we did do. Yeah,
and it's good to talk to you, person that I only seen in pictures.
Yeah.
All right. So
cool.